This is a full spoiler recap for episode 5 of season 3 of The Boys, titled The Last Time to Look on This World of Lies, presented by Compound B, a show about the boys. Again, this is a full spoiler recap. This is your first and final warning. We open episode 5 with a different type of film performance. MM is fixedly watching videos of Russian scientists experimenting on Soldier Boy. Butcher figures that this is how he got his new powers. Kamiko is stabilized, but Frenchie is still a mess. Butcher wants to get her to a real hospital, but MM thinks that he doesn't care. Butcher admits to killing gunpowder and that it felt good. MM reminds him that the point of this is no one is supposed to have that kind of power. Butcher checks in on Huey, who is having a nasty post-V hangover. For a split second, Butcher sees a young boy instead of Huey. At a Vought board meeting, OG Ashley accepts the position of CEO and the meeting proceeds. Everyone introduces themselves, and it doesn't take long for it to be obvious that Homelander is out of his depth here. Marine asks him a legitimate question about how to handle something on the earnings call, and Homelander berates her, asking if she thinks that she's better than him. Marine apologizes profusely, but OG Ashley asks her to leave. As part of the corporate restructuring, the Deep is put in charge of the Crime Analytics Unit. He and the real boss, Cassandra, bring cupcakes for the unit members and assure them that nothing will change. They'll just each need to sign up for a performance review. It's just a formality. The boys land back in the States and go their separate ways, although Huey tells Butcher, "You've still got me." Huey goes to his condo and watches news footage about the death of Supersonic. Annie arrives and Huey tries to comfort her and also get her ready for what he has to say. He gets her a White Claw and then tells her that he took temporary V and Soldier Boy is still alive and on the loose in Russia. Even after several White Claws, Annie is pretty upset. Huey doesn't help matters when he admits that he loved taking the V.
You loved it.
I fucking really loved it. It was awesome. I mean, you know me. If a guy in the car next to me gives me a dirty look, I'm like fucking Dom Toretto taking off, trying to get away from him, because I'm quick and I'm all about family.
Despite all of this, they say that they love each other and they'll face whatever is coming next together. In Russia, Soldier Boy finds an airport and sneaks onto a plane. Back at the Flatiron building, Maeve bursts in on Butcher, asking how the fuck Soldier Boy is still alive. Maeve gives Butcher more doses of B24 and he offers her a drink. She declines, stating that she's been sober for 4 months. Butcher replies that it's been a year for him, and he takes a large drink of vodka. Maeve ends up drinking with him, and they talk about their failed plans. Butcher reaffirms that every single soup needs to go. This leads to Maeve kissing Butcher, which leads to them making with the sexy times. At the hospital, Frenchie is watching over Kamiko when Nina walks in. She takes him for a walk and explains that she lost men in Russia, which puts Frenchie in her debt. She gives him pictures of Peter Semyonov and his daughter Katrina with explicit instructions to kill them today. Frenchie returns to Kamiko's room to find her awake. She's ecstatic to discover that she's healing slowly and her powers seem to be gone. At 7 Tower, A-Train is confronted by Starlight over his betrayal, which led to the death of Supersonic, all of which he denies. He then meets with OG Ashley, who thanks him for being a team player and reveals that he's getting his meeting with Blue Hawk as a reward. Right now. A-Train tentatively explains to Blue Hawk that his aggressive patrolling in minority neighborhoods could be viewed as racist. Blue Hawk doesn't seem to take him very seriously, but he agrees to make a public apology. Soldier Boy arrives in New York and he wanders the city. He still seems disoriented, and when he hears the Russian language, his rage explodes again with a giant burst of energy, this time even bigger than the blast we saw in Russia. At least 19 people die in the explosion. MM goes to pick up his daughter Janice, who he's going to take to the Science Center. When he arrives, he finds Janice and Todd watching Homelander on TV. MM asks Todd not to watch that shit in front of her, but Todd doesn't see the problem. News reports about the explosion caused by Soldier Boy interrupt the program, and MM starts to lose it, again having flashbacks. He tells Janine that he's sorry, but he has to go. At 7 Tower, Vought is weighing their response. Homelander suggests going on TV shows to do damage control. Starlight wants to find whoever did this, so Homelander tells her to go ahead and do just that. He's got other things to worry about, like the stock price. Starlight calls Huey, who confirms that this was probably Soldier Boy. Starlight heads down to Crime Analytics to enlist their help in finding him. Huey, Butcher, and MM all show up at the scene of the explosion. The radiation confirms that it was Soldier Boy, and they decide to handle this together. They try to figure out where Soldier Boy will go from here, and MM thinks that he might have gone to see the Legend. Starlight finds that the Crime Analytics Department has been gutted by the Deep. Apparently, he fired everybody who had ever uttered a single negative word about Homelander. Starlight and a worker named Annika review CCTV footage in an effort to locate Soldier Boy. A-Train arrives at a community center for Blue Hawk's apology. A-Train's brother Nate is there, but A-Train didn't tell him about Blue Hawk being there, and he's not happy. Blue Hawk insincerely reads an apology and denies having racist intentions. He promises to donate $10,000 to the community center, but that doesn't placate the crowd. They demand answers, and Blue Hawk begins shouting back at the crowd, making things worse. He loses his temper and assaults several people before A-Train manages to get him to leave. A-Train then sees his brother Nate lying motionless on the ground, bleeding from the head. MM, Butcher, and Huey go to see the legend who ran the Soup Savant before Stan Edgar and Madeline Stillwell. The legend regales them with stories and denies having any contact with Soldier Boy. MM eventually gets him to admit that Soldier Boy stopped by to pick up his old super suit and to find out where his old girlfriend, the Crimson Countess, lives. Maeve is watching Homelander on Cameron Coleman at 7 Tower. Homelander assures him that everything is fine, and when Coleman suggests that the explosion might be a false flag, Homelander doesn't deny it. Maeve is interrupted by Homelander himself, and we find out Supersonic did indeed give her up, as well as Huey and Starlight. Homelander is furious with her and wonders what she's doing with Butcher, who he can smell on her. Maeve tries to deny everything, even calling Homelander John. But Homelander doesn't believe her. He tells her that he really did love her once, in his own way, and wonders if she ever really loved him. Maeve admits that right from the start she hated him, and even pitied him. Homelander gives a nod to someone behind her, and we see Black Noir lunge at Maeve. Butcher shows Huey and MM the new supply of V24. He can't convince MM to take it. MM explains that his dad wouldn't like it, and that they have to draw the line somewhere. Butcher scoffs at this, and Huey asks for more. MM is pissed, but Huey explains without it, he's useless to them. Butcher gives Huey a vial of V. Unable to contact Maeve, Starlight confronts OG Ashley. She tells Starlight that Maeve is at the Global Wellness Retreat in Malibu and can't currently be contacted. Starlight tells her that Homelander is out of control and begs for her help. For a moment, Ashley wavers, but then tells Starlight to get out of her office and to make an appointment next time. A-Train goes to the hospital where the doctors inform him that Nate will never walk again. On a nearby TV, we see Blue Hawk. He says that someone pulled a gun on him, and he was displeased that his donation was met with intolerance by a few Antifa thugs and some bad apples. At the hospital, Kimiko and Frenchie are listening to Judy Garland. Kimiko seems very happy, and she even manages to say, "I got rhythm." This sets off an entire musical number with Kimiko and Frenchie set to I Got Rhythm. After the musical number, the two share a kiss, and Frenchie tells her that he's going to grab a coffee, but he'll be right back. While using the coffee vending machine, he's confronted and taken away by Nina. Crimson Countess is having an online sex session with a user of soupporn.com named SirCumsALot779, played by Seth Rogen. Right before she gets to the good stuff, she's attacked by Butcher. After being restrained, she's informed that Soldier Boy is still alive and on his way to see her. She wonders how he escaped the Russians, meaning that she's always known that he was still alive. They leave her as bait and head outside. As they prepare, Starlight shows up, having been tipped off by MM. Huey takes her aside and they have an argument over Huey taking the V and their fears of losing each other. MM and Butcher are talking when MM slowly collapses. Butcher roofied him because he knows MM won't approve of what happens next. Soldier Boy arrives and Butcher asks him about a team-up, telling him that Crimson Countess is tied up inside as a show of good faith. Soldier Boy confronts the Countess, asking how much she was paid to betray him to the Russians. She tells him that there was no money. Soldier Boy explains to her that he survived all of his torture in Russia because he loved her and he was waiting for her to come rescue him. The Countess replies that she hated him, as did everyone else. That's enough for Soldier Boy, who unleashes another decimating energy blast, laying the entire trailer to waste. Huey and Starlight see the explosion, and Starlight realizes that Huey deliberately pulled her away. They run back to the wreckage of the trailer, where she sees a passed out MM and Soldier Boy. Huey prevents her from confronting Soldier Boy, and she's pissed. Huey explains that they have to do whatever it takes, and that they need a weapon. Soldier Boy is that weapon. This is the only way that he can save her from Homelander. Starlight begs Huey to come with her, but he elects to go with Butcher instead. Thank you for checking out the episode recap for The Last Time to Look on This World of Lies from Compound B, a show about the boys. Check back on Monday night for our full spoiler review of the episode. You can find us on social media at Compound B Pod. Thanks again. Hope you enjoyed it.